For most software vendors, bringing in revenue is this constant battle, right? It's all about one-time fees and just trying to stop customers from leaving. But what if you could completely transform your platform into a self-fueling revenue engine? Today, we're going to break down a really powerful strategic shift, embedding payments right into your software to create steady, recurring revenue and make your platform absolutely essential. So here's how we're going to walk through this. First, we'll talk about that core growth dilemma that I'm sure every ISV faces. Then we'll get into this awesome concept of becoming a force multiplier. After that, we'll dive into the two huge benefits, that recurring revenue and a massive boost to customer lifetime value, before, finally, we lay out the exact path to partnership so you know how to get there. All right, let's start with a challenge that probably feels very familiar to a lot of you. It's what we call the ISV growth dilemma. This is that constant push and pull between getting new customers and just trying to hang on to the ones you already have. And really, it all comes down to this one fundamental question. Is your software just a tool, or is it a complete business solution? The way you answer that, well, it truly defines your whole relationship with your customers and, frankly, your entire potential for growth. Answering that question leads right to some common pain points. I bet you're trapped by those one-time license fees, which creates this total roller coaster of unpredictable revenue. And that makes you vulnerable, right? Customers can churn and jump to a cheaper competitor because, well, you're seen as just another tool. It becomes this constant fight to prove your value, all while a huge, untapped revenue stream, payments, is just sitting on the table. So the big question is, how do you break out of that cycle? Well, you do it by becoming what's called a force multiplier in the payments world. Let's really dig into what that actually means. Okay, the core idea here is simple, but it is absolutely transformative. By embedding payment infrastructure directly into your platform, you stop being just another software provider. You actually become the essential engine that powers your merchant's entire business. Think about it. You're handling their sales, their management, and their payments all in one seamless place. This is what we mean when we say you become a force multiplier. To put it simply, you're not just a vendor anymore. No way. You become a strategic partner who brings your entire customer base and your unique, deep industry expertise into the payment ecosystem. And that creates this exponential value for literally everyone involved. And just think about the kind of value you're creating. You're not just bringing one merchant to the party, you're bringing an entire community with you. Your deep, deep knowledge of a specific industry, whether it's retail, restaurants, or field services, lets you build these custom payment experiences that a generic one-size-fits-all provider just can't match. You actually become an engine for innovation across the whole network. Okay, so what's in it for you? Let's talk about the first major benefit. And believe me, it is a big one. Building a recurring revenue engine. This right here shows the huge shift. The old model is so static. You sell a license and boom, the revenue for that customer is pretty much capped. But this new model, it's dynamic. You earn a little piece of every single transaction that happens on your platform. And just like that, your revenue isn't just recurring, it's tied directly to your customers' success. When they grow, you grow. Simple as that. So what does that look like in real numbers? Well, as an ISV partner, you earn a revenue share that's somewhere between 7.5% and 25% of the transaction fee. This isn't just a little side income, okay? This is a completely new, predictable, and scalable revenue stream from the customers you already have. Let's make this super concrete. Check out this example. If your merchants process €1,000,000 in a month at just a 0.5% fee, you could be earning anywhere from $375 to over €1,250 every single month. And that's pure payment revenue, completely on top of your existing software fees. Now just imagine that scaling across your entire user base. But honestly, the money is only half the story. The second benefit is, I would argue, just as powerful. You are supercharging the lifetime value of your customers. See, when payments are built right into your platform, you become incredibly sticky. Your software is no longer just a nice-to-have feature, it's like this central nervous system for your customer's business. How do they take in money? Through you. This makes it so much harder for them to even think about leaving, which slashes your churn and pretty much blocks competitors out of the picture. And the numbers here, they're staggering. Platforms that integrate payments see a customer lifetime value that is 3 to 5 times higher than those that don't. Just let that sink in for a second. This isn't a small improvement, it's an absolute game changer for your growth and for your company's valuation. Now, a really key piece of making all this work seamlessly is the ability to white label the entire experience. What that means is the payment flow looks and feels like it's your own native feature. You get to keep complete control over the branding, the user interface, the whole customer relationship, all while this powerful, compliant payment infrastructure just hums along invisibly in the background. Okay, so the value here is crystal clear. So what's the next step? Let's walk through the actual partnership path and see exactly how you can get started on this. The cool thing is, the partnership path is really flexible. There are 3 tiers designed to match your goals. So think of the technology tier as the perfect entry point. You get full API access, co-marketing, and a solid 7.5% revenue share. When you're ready to really own that brand experience, the reseller tier adds the white labeling and a higher rev share. And then you've got the strategic tier. This is for those enterprise-level partners who want to co-develop new features and get the absolute highest revenue share possible. And what's really important is that getting started isn't some massive, months-long project. The whole process is designed to be super fast and frictionless, so you can start seeing that revenue come in quickly. It's really just 4 simple steps. First, you apply, and that takes like 5 minutes. Then, within 24 hours, you get access to a sandbox environment so you can start playing around. Next, you build and test your integration, and you get full support from an engineering team. And finally, you go live and start onboarding your merchants. That's it. And look, this timeline isn't just some fantasy. Most ISVs actually go from that initial application to having their first merchant processing live transactions in just 2 to 4 weeks. That is an incredibly fast time to value. So we'll just leave you with this one question to really think about for your own business. What could a brand new, scalable, recurring revenue stream actually do for your platform's growth, for your company's valuation, and for your relationship with your customers? Honestly, this shift from being a simple software tool to a complete revenue engine, it's one of the most powerful moves an ISV can make today.